everybody and welcome back to my YouTube channel. I really hope you're all doing okay and having a great day and amazing week. My name is Effie and today we are picking some makeup out of my collection that I haven't used in a while. Some things I may have forgot that I had, and we're just going to put them on my face. And that's why we're starting with a bare face today, so that you can come through the process with me. And I'm not going to ramble on in this intro, so let's just get on with it. If you enjoy this video, please give it a big thumbs up. If you like my content, please consider subscribing. I'm uploading hopefully once a week. This is the second video that I've filmed since coming back, and I haven't edited them yet, obviously. So hopefully it's going to be one a week. I'm trying to like pre-film a couple of things so that I can be consistent, whatever. But anyway, I upload makeup content. So if that interests you, then please do hit the subscribe button. But other than that, let's go on with the video. We're going to start with the eyes, and the primer that I kind of forgot I had is from XX Revolution. It doesn't have a name of the product, it just says translucent on it. I tested this quite a while ago, and honestly I don't think I've used it since I tested it. Quite hard to get out the tube. But I'm just going to pop some of this onto my eyelid. The reason I don't really reach for this is because it is translucent, and I prefer a primer where I can see that it's blanked out my lid and things like that. I can't really tell if I've covered my lid or not, but we're going to hope for the best. The eyeshadow palette I'm going to use is the Beauty Bay Earthy palette. I could have chosen so many palettes because I just reach for the same like 5 in rotation constantly, but I wanted to pick one that you could still buy. You can still buy this on the Beauty Bay website. And I used to genuinely love this palette and use it all the time, but I just don't anymore because I just do boring makeup looks for work. So we're gonna revive her. I have no idea what I'm gonna do. I might just keep it a bit simple and sort of do like a standard Effie look, just to keep it a bit easier. I might stick to like these two rows here, a bit more of a grungy green. Let's just do it, shall we? I'm going in with the shade here called Eucalyptus. Now this shade here called Corduroy. And this shade here called Whistle. As always, I'm just going to go back through and blend all of those shades. I actually don't think this looks too bad so far. I am rushing a little bit because the battery flashing light stresses me out, but I typically don't go for these types of greens because I do like them. I don't know if they suit me, for one, and for two, I find them really difficult to work with. I don't know what it is, but I find these shades of greens just don't blend as nicely as other shades on me. And it's not just this palette, it's any palette that has these greens in it, which makes me think there's nothing wrong with any formula. It is simply just the fact that I am incompetent at using these greens. But I actually think this looks quite alright, to be honest. And now we're going to use a shimmer, which I love. I love Beauty Bay shimmer formulas. They are honestly amazing. This one here, Lime, calls to me every single time I open this palette, and I probably will use it, I'll be honest. Actually, is this the right thing to do? Yeah, I'm gonna use some glitter or liquid eyeshadows because I never use these. Hopefully these haven't dried out. I don't think they have. Sorry if you can hear my phone. Let's give this a try. That looks quite nice. It's not very glittery. By the way, these are the e.l.f. liquid, what are they called? Liquid glitter eyeshadows, and this is the shade Dirty Martini. It's a little bit dark. The colour is great for this look. It's sort of like a old gold, greeny sort of shade. But I'm going to pop a little bit of this shade here, which I think is called Flirty Birdie, which is what I thought it was called. The knowledge is still there at least. And I'm just going to take a tiny bit of this, just because this has really small silver glitters in it, and just use this to sort of lighten it up a little bit. I think that's the best we're going to get. Bearing in mind these are at least like 2 or 3 years old, I'm pretty happy with that. What I'm going to do now is go off camera and catch up my other eye, charge my battery, because I can still see the flashing light and it's annoying me. But yeah, I will catch up the other eye and then we'll come back and do our base. See you in a moment. I'm back, my eyes are evened up, and now we're going to move on to base. And primer, is the e.l.f. Liquid Poreless Putty Primer. Honestly, I forgot that I had this. I saw like an advert for it and I was like, oh, I have that primer. But realistically, I just stick to the same primer, foundation, concealer, everything. Like, I very rarely switch it up for work. And because I haven't been filming, I haven't been mixing it up for anything else. But from what I remember, I quite liked this, but I preferred the like this version. This is the green one. It does feel quite nice. For some reason my face feels gritty. I have washed my face this morning, but I assume it's my face's issue, not the primers. I don't know why. I've just eaten something, so maybe I had some crumbs. I don't know. Foundation. The NYX Can't Stop Won't Stop foundation in the shade Light. I've had this for absolutely ages, and NYX actually very kindly sent it to me, but it was never a favourite. I will say I actually woke up with a little bit of dryness on my face this morning, which doesn't normally happen to me, but like I said, I washed my face and I've moisturised, so hopefully it shouldn't be an issue. That's actually a really nice level of coverage. I really quite like the coverage level. I feel like I might just be going insane, but I feel like the shade is ever so slightly off, but I can't tell why. It just looks slightly off. Is it a little bit too pink? I don't know. I do have two concealers. I have the Revolution Pro. Why did Revolution not put the names of the products on the product? I think it's like the Ultimate Under Eye something. Why don't I reach for this? I feel like it doesn't have the best coverage. It's just meant to be like a brightening under eye concealer, so it's not going to give me loads of coverage, and it's quite similar to my skin tone, so it sort of does two good things but not in the way I want them. If I have a concealer that's close to my skin tone, I want to be able to cover up spots, but this doesn't have the coverage to cover up spots. And then where I want brightening under my eyes, it doesn't have that brightening capacity because it's my skin tone. So yeah, it sort of does two good things but just in the wrong way. Like, its qualities don't match up great. I do think it gives quite a nice under eye effect, but it's just not, I prefer a little bit more brightening to it. And then yeah, it's done nothing to really cover up this spot I have here because I'm going on holiday in 2 days, so of course why wouldn't my skin start breaking out right now. But yeah, so it's not really doing the things that I want where I want it, if that makes sense. And on the flip side of that, my other concealer that I've picked is the Revolution Conceal and Define Infinite. This is in the shade 0.5, this is in the shade 1. Now this one, very light, very brightening, very high coverage. So it's the complete opposite problem. It's very light, so I can use it under my eyes, where I actually prefer things to have a little bit less coverage because I prefer quite a thin formula under my eyes. But then it is far too light for me to use to cover up a spot because it's not my skin tone. And I could just purchase it in my skin tone. Revolution is pretty inexpensive, although I have noticed their prices creeping up. Don't think I haven't spotted that, Revolution. But yeah, it's these two concealers are sort of the opposite of each other, and neither of them really give me what I want. Cream bronzer. I have not reached for this in the longest time, and I'm pretty sure this was the first cream bronzer I ever bought. And it is the e.l.f. Putty bronzer in the shade Tan Lines, and I don't even know what brush I'm meant to use with this anymore. It's definitely more of a bronzing shade as opposed to a contour shade. It may be just a touch too warm for me, but it's not terrible. I just have other shades that I reach for that are a bit better. This is a nice product, it works well. I'm pretty sure they do have a cool tone shade, I just don't have it. Maybe I should pick that up at some point. I just have other products I would pick over it. The MUA, this is the exact same product, it's like a pot of bronzer. The MUA version I just prefer a little more, so I feel like I'd reach for that over this. I have a cream blush, and if you've watched my videos before, this is an OG. I've been using this for the longest time. It's a Made by Mitchell blush in the shade Sunflower, and yes, it's yellow. I know a lot of people won't like that, But I used to wear this all the time. But I think because, like I said, I've been doing just makeup for work, I don't really reach for a yellow blush for the office. But I do love a yellow blush, but it does mean that I've just not reached for this one really at all in the past, I'd say about like 4 or 5 months. Which is a shame because I love a yellow blush. I know that yellow blush isn't for everyone. I've always said that whenever I use a yellow blush, I say that I know it's not for everyone, but I personally do just love it. And it's a shame I don't reach for it anymore, but I couldn't turn up to work looking like this. It's not very demure, very mindful. Honestly, I hate that TikTok trend, but it kind of makes sense. But yeah, not very demure, not very mindful. Wouldn't work for the everyday. Powder. Again, if you've watched my videos before, this is something you recognise. It's the I Heart Revolution Scented Loose Baking Powder in Peach. I just personally never reach for it anymore. I feel like part of it is because it's a coloured powder. It's basically their light shade. They do have a translucent one. I think that's coconut, but I have this one. And if I'm doing a look like this where I've used cream blush and cream bronzer, it's going to take away some of that pigment. And when I'm doing my makeup for work, I don't always do a full base. Like sometimes in fact most of the time, I'll just do a bit of concealer under my eyes and like on any blemishes. And then like a little bit, like very minimal coverage. And I just think a tinted powder is a bit too much for that. Such a good powder. And you get this entire pot for like £6. It's amazing. Beautiful. Powder blush, obviously. Again, another product that I used to love and use all the time. It's the e.l.f. Bite Size Face Duo in the shade Cantaloupe. And it's the only yellow powder blush I own. Hence why I'd always use it with this cream blush. But again, I just don't reach for the yellows anymore, which honestly, it makes me sad. It really does. I miss my yellow blush days. But I'm trying to be more professional at work, because in case you didn't know, I changed jobs a couple of months ago. In my old job, I would have pretty much turned up to the office looking like this and it wouldn't have bothered anybody. Nobody would say anything. In fact, I'd probably get a few compliments and I'd be pretty happy about it. But now I'm sort of in more of a senior position. I want to be taken a bit more seriously. So I don't go in with yellow blush and green eyeshadow. Bronzer, we've got the Lottie London Sunkissed Coconut Scented Bronzer in the shade Suncatcher. I was actually very kindly sent this by Lottie London. There's a few products here that I was very kindly sent by brands that I just don't reach for anymore, which is a shame. I know why I don't reach for this bronzer, and it's because it's slightly too warm, slightly too dark. But it's not a bad bronzer, it's just not perfect for my skin tone. But I've gone in with a light hand and I don't think it looks terrible. My hairline isn't blending very well, but that is fine, I guess. Highlight, we have the MUA Shimmer Highlight Powder in Iridescent Gold. I used to use this all the time. I had an older one that was in my Project Pan, God knows how long ago, that I used quite a lot. I just don't really wear highlighter anymore, which is a shame because I love highlighter. I think it looks really nice. I just don't reach for it on a daily basis. Even for work, I don't wear highlighter because I'm not doing a full base. The MUA highlighters are really good quality for a very good price. Same with most MUA products. I think MUA is very underrated. It's a very good brand and it's very, very cheap. Now what am I doing? I'm gonna catch up my lower lash line. That's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna go off camera and do it. I'm just gonna use the exact same shades. Lower lash line because it's easy. And then we'll come back and do mascara, brows, lips. See you in a moment. Lower lash line is done, very basic. For mascara, again, another product that was sent to me, the Beauty Crop Avocado Mascara. I used to love this mascara. This was my go-to every day for a very long while. But now I generally just tend to stick to waterproof mascaras for the everyday. But this one is really good, and I actually want to kind of stop using waterproof mascara every day because it's such a pain to get off. But the problem is that my mascara transfers onto my like under eye, so if you have any suggestions on how to fix that, help a girl out, please. I still really like this mascara. It's not going to be for everybody. I like it because it, what's the word? Separates my lashes and makes it look like I have loads of lashes. It's not very volumizing, I want to say. It's quite like lengthening, separating, that sort of vibe, which I personally prefer, but I know a lot of people don't. Now we're going to move on to brows. For brow pencil, we've got the XX Revolution XX Fine Brow in the shade Ash Brown. And I don't reach for this because I just don't think the shade's perfect for me. And again, I just have products that I love and I reach for all the time. Okay, maybe the shade's actually not that bad. I feel like maybe it looks a bit better at the moment because my hair is a little bit lighter. When my hair was darker, it maybe didn't look as nice. Not nice, but you know, didn't match as well. Yeah, I don't think that's terrible. It's maybe a little bit more difficult to work with because it's such a light shade. You do have to sort of go in quite hard and really apply quite a little bit of pressure and things like that, and I just think I have products that are easier to get on with. And then for brows, I have the 24-hour brow setter by Benefit. Again, this was sent to me and I just don't reach for it because personally I prefer tinted brow gels. My brows are so uneven, but oh well. But yeah, I just prefer a tinted brow gel over a clear one, and I feel like that's because personally my brows are quite light. I have brow hairs, they're just quite light and you can't really see them. So if I get a tinted brow gel, it sort of shows the hairs that I have, which is what I need. Whereas a lot of people just have beautiful, dark, bold brows and I don't. Now, finally for lips. The lip liner I've chosen, I do reach for. I reach for most of my nude lip liners. I didn't want to go for a non-nude because I obviously don't reach for them as often, but they all have a purpose. But for my nudes, this is probably the one I reach for less than the rest. But this is the Be Perfect Pout Line in Bite Me, and it needs sharpening. There we go, much better. This is a perfectly fine lip liner. I think for me it's slightly too dark. I can't really remember, like I said, I don't reach for it very often. But at the same time, I have plenty of nude lip liners that I do reach for all the time. It's probably just that this one doesn't get picked. It's pick other ones. Okay, now for lipstick, and this one genuinely hurts my heart to say that I don't reach for it that much anymore. This is the Kiko creamy lipstick in 136 Gossamer Emotion. When I bought this, I fell in love with this lipstick because it is such a perfect cool tone brown. And I love a cool tone brown, I truly, truly do. But I just don't reach for this anymore. Oh, I still love it. I know it's not going to be everyone's cup of tea. I understand that. However, for me, I love this sort of shade, but I do feel like it's not appropriate for the workplace. I don't even know why. It's just a lipstick. It's just a shade of brown. I don't understand it. But I feel like a lot of people would see this and be like, that's a bit much. I don't understand why. It's just the same as wearing any other brown lipstick, surely. But apparently not. And it's annoying because sometimes I do cool toned eyeshadow. Sometimes I use greys and like cool toned browns. But I would go for, it would still be cool toned, but maybe not this sort of grey toned. But I personally love this grey tone. But there we go. That is the video finished. This is my full face of products that I don't reach for anymore. Forgot what I had, however you want to word it. But I do just want to point out, not a single product in this video is a bad product. If I had bad products in my collection, they'd be decluttered pretty quickly. I don't tend to keep anything that I really dislike. All of these products work absolutely fine. I just have become a little bit set in my ways with my makeup. I'm not filming all the time. I'm not doing creative makeup all the time. So I just reach for the products that I know and love. That doesn't mean that these products are bad in any shape or form. And actually a lot of them are really good. And using them today, I sort of like feel a bit sad that I'm not using them more often. So maybe I will. Hopefully this will help get me out of that rut. But yeah, doesn't mean they're bad products. In fact, most of the products here I really do enjoy. Some of them don't work for me and my skin tone, but they're still good products, if that makes sense. And they're still in my collection. Some of these have been in my collection for multiple rounds of declutters, so they can't be that bad, can they? Anyway, I'll stop rambling. Let me know down in the comment section what you think of the look, whether you have any of these products that you forget about, or any product that you have that you've forgotten you own. Let me know. Give this video a big thumbs up if you enjoyed it, and if you like my content, please consider subscribing. And other than that, I'll let you go. Have a great day and an amazing week, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye!